here's Brett Baer.
Who'da thunk it? A tech-savvy Team Obama struggling to get a website up and running. Conservatives going for defense cuts, confounding Democrats. Washington wondering if the progressives' capstone achievement may be their undoing. A freshman senator leading his party down a road its senior statesman would rather not go. We're going to try to make sense of the last 12 months. We start with another paradox of sorts. A cadre of young political activists mobilizing against the president's signature legislation. November 10th, 2013, the month after the Obamacare exchanges opened for business. Thousands of University of Miami and Virginia Tech fans party outside Sun Life Stadium. But this is more than a pregame tailgate bash. It sounds a lot like a call to civil disobedience.
So literally hundreds of people are going to sign up to opt out today, right? Hopefully. That's right. All right.
Though 29-year-old Evan Feinberg, the president of Generation Opportunity, would deny that.
You've been traveling the country essentially telling people, young people, to ignore the law.
No, not at all.
Well, come on, Evan. We have cameras following you around, and you tell young people to opt out.
Well, no doubt we're actually telling young people to opt out.
You girls are ready to opt out of Obamacare, right? You're ready to opt out of Obamacare, right? All right.
Because that's the best possible decision about their health care. They shouldn't pay 3 times as much for their insurance, not to get better health care for themselves, but to pay for an older, sicker generation's health care benefits.
Feinberg is talking about the fact that for Obamacare to work, young, healthy people must pay into the system, but not make many claims on it. That way, their premiums will subsidize older, sicker people who, statistically speaking, will use a lot more health care services. On this day, and this venue at least, the word seemed to be getting out.
With Obamacare, I'm going to have to pay 3-4 times more money in health insurance for premiums or deductibles, and I think that's ridiculous.
Would you be interested in signing our petition?
You're basically a community organizer, aren't you?
In a lot of ways, yes. We are stealing some tactics from the left.
Opt out! Opt out!
We're trying to get them motivated and involved in ways that will make a difference.
The Obamacare scam relies on these young people being patsies. They are not. They will not sign up for this bad deal, and that's why this law is going to fail.
Do you want this law to fail?
Our goal with this campaign is not to undermine the law.
But Evan, by doing what you're doing, you are undermining the law. If you succeed, the law does fail.
Well, that's the sign of a really, really terrible bad law.
Or at least a law that's disappointed a lot of Americans for a number of reasons.
Nobody's more frustrated by that than I am.
Breaking tonight, a new health care bombshell.
This will be a story of an epic collapse.
Called the biggest political lie of the year.
We're seeing this thing seemingly crumbling.
Millions of canceled policies, sticker shock, and of course, the malfunctioning website. It all adds up to the most amazing spectacle of mayhem and meltdown anyone has seen in politics since Watergate, says Wall Street Journal columnist Dan Henninger.
I don't think it's just Obamacare that's failing here. I think it's the underlying idea that the Democrats have promised the American people in the entire post-war period. Government can provide good things on an almost limitless basis. And that is being shown with this act to no longer be true.
Columnist Dan Henninger wrote that 2013 will be remembered as the year when the whole progressive ideal fell apart. You agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
Freshman Congressman John Delaney, a Maryland Democrat, acknowledges Obamacare's rough start, but insists suggestions that progressivism may be dead are greatly exaggerated.
The progressive movement is about immigration reform. The progressive movement is about making investment in our kids so they can compete in a global and technology-enabled world. The progressive movement is about adjusting to climate change. That's what I think the progressive movement is about, and I think in the fullness of time people will say it was right.
For 100 years, American liberals had been lusting to create a truly nationalized health care system.
Charles Kessler is the author of a book on President Obama and his place in the progressive movement.
Under Lyndon Johnson, they created Medicare and Medicaid, but that was far from being universal health coverage. When Bill Clinton failed, liberals and conservatives both thought that this was it. We had seen the high water mark of liberalism. But lo and behold, along comes Barack Obama and does the thing which had seemed impossible. This was their holy grail.
Their entire identity is wrapped up in the success of this law.
Conservative columnist George Will.
For a century, progressivism has said, we will have progress, bliss, and paradise, if, but only if, we concentrate more and more power in the hands of all-seeing, super-competent experts who can do things normal Americans can't do. So that's what progressivism is.
That's the tragedy of this, as a person who supports progressive government.
But Kirsten Powers says the problem is in the execution of Obamacare, not the idea behind it.
It really feeds into the conservative argument that the government's just dysfunctional, that they can't handle anything, that they'll just screw up anything that they touch.
Obamacare is a turning point against big government. Young people are hearing about this law, they're feeling its effects firsthand, and they are running away from big government as fast as they can.
If that's true, and some polls suggest it is, that would seem to be a stunning turnabout for the White House and this president, twice elected with the overwhelming support of millennials. And we will hear more from them later. But how did the Obama breakdown begin? It's a story Fox News reporting cameras watched unfold throughout the year in cities and towns around the country, as well as in the nation's capital, where politicians had to swallow some tough medicine.